I've been in LA since, and I was just talking to Lil Caesar. Yeah, I was just talking to Lil Caesar about meeting him at Big John's or Sam Rica Hall or some of these spots, some of these spots that we're like little dudes, looking up to a lot of dudes getting in there. I remember Time Bandits, I remember all these crews, I remember LA Boppin crew, I remember all these crews, I remember y'all individually, and this is a blessing for me to be able to stand here to be interviewing you guys today, so to speak. And so I'm a product of many people. I used to go travel through the streets of LA throughout the early 80s, and that was about the earliest my parents would let me. My father was a drummer, he played for Redbone, and so I got to go to hang out a lot of cool spots and witness a lot of cool brothers. That's how I met the Penguin. But really dope is that through the years, I went to El Rancho High School and I would travel in and out of the city looking for you guys. And now, 20 years later, 30 years later, 40 years later, look at what time, we're talking about years later and we're all in the same building. I used to have to, it was really difficult to go looking for you guys. Going all the way to Long Beach or going all the way to Carson or San Pete or wherever, it was crazy. And then the party you guys were throwing was not really for me. I was really like a little dude, so it was rough. Now we're gonna get right into the panel. Now this is the West Coast Funk and Soul panel, and really what we want you to do is introduce yourselves, who you are, what neighborhood you're from, your first street name if it wasn't the name you had now, and if you had a crew before, back in the days, because we just want you to give like a first look at who you are as an artist, how you got today. And we'll just go from their left to right, so we'll start with Boppin Chris. Quick introduction, Chris, so everybody knows who you are and where you're from.
I'm Boppin Chris from the LA Boppin crew, from South Central. Been dancing ever since I was about like 5 years old. And I gathered up all my friends from school and from other neighborhoods and stuff. And we all just used to go around dancing in different neighborhoods, beach, skate rink, bowling alley, wherever we can find music at, and everybody want to gather up, And over the years, it was like crews was getting together and battling each other, going to like Chevy Hills Park, where like a whole bunch of OGs and even the ones that's not here today was coming together, and we was having like battles and stuff, going to Uncle Jam's Army, Convention Center, Hollywood and Highland. Oh man, you name it. Radiotron, can't forget the Radiotron. You know what I'm saying? Now we got the B-Boy Summit keeping the funk going and the B-Boy style going and stuff. And then we got Ruckus trying to keep it going. And my boy Midnight keeping everything, the funk and the hip hop and the picnics going. You know what I'm saying? With some crews right here. OG legends that's been around for years. Got Time Bandit, we got One on Bandit, and we have the Groovatrons with No Bone, we got Tic Tac, we got the other, Long Beach Time Bandits, can't forget y'all, we go, oh man, you know what I'm saying, it's just so fun to be here with everybody, just so fun, and I can't imagine this, back in the days that we still can dance and stuff, and I like to just give out, like homage to the fallen soldiers of the Poplock, and you know what I'm saying, like animation and Cosmo, man, my homeboy from my crew, Wavo. It's so many to name right now. I'm just so, emotionally kind of happy and it's so much emotion. But I love everybody here. I love coming. I try to make it to every pop locking function they have. I'm gonna continue to come. I'm gonna continue to, support and everything. And I hope this gets bigger, even bigger. Even if my friends from the Bay, Pop Tart and them, they starting to come in with us and everything, united the Bay Late thing. It's just a lot of hip hop that's still to come, Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Age of One, thank Grim, thank everybody. Thank you.
Boppin Chris. Can we keep it down a little bit everywhere just for a moment so we can get this? We definitely want to hear this.
Hey guys, keep it down a little bit because they're picking you up on the camera over here. Please, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? I'm OG Tic Tac. I'm from a group called Showtime back in the day. I had a member named Cosmo. Rest in peace, Cosmo. We also had another member that people didn't get to know from the golden era. And when I say the golden era, I'm talking about the beginning of pop locking, that when it was started out in the streets. A lot of people speak about different parts of history, and I never hear that much of history about when it all began, when we were actually in our backyards, in our garages, in our living rooms, in our rooms, you know, practicing and developing this dance. I created my own style of ticking, called ticking, of course. And there was tiny ticks, single ticks, double ticks, to triple ticking. After triple ticking comes vibrating to me. So I just wanted to put that out there for people that don't know. You know, there's a style called ticking. It's not spoken about a lot. Maybe you might have heard it, but it doesn't get that credibility that it should. It's its own style, its own form. I happen to be one of the founding fathers of my own style. I gotta give it up though to the lockers, original lockers, original Penguin, rest in peace. Penguin was Fred Berry. Let me tell you something. Fred Berry is my first mentor. He taught me my first points. Back in 1972, I was 6 years young in front of the 18th Street Arcade. And I most definitely, from Fred Berry, seen Great Camelot Pope Jr., another mentor of mine, Fluky Luke, another mentor of mine, Don Camelot, also another mentor of mine, and Slim Robot. To me, from locking, miming, roboting, and the grooves of locking, that made us bridge that style that we call pop locking. We're the pedigree of the pop lockers, the evolution of this dance. So if people didn't know, I'm trying to put it into a perspective from what I live and not anything else. I love all the styles. I've been a part of it since 1972. I'm 56 years young. And yes, I said 56 years young because I still feel it in my spirit and I still get down to the day. It's part of my life. I have a young lady in the crowd right now, Little Miss Tic Tac, which I'm passing over our dance to her, and she's gonna continue it. And I'm just honored to be here in front of my daughter, in front of my hip hop family. We used to be called the street dance culture before it was called hip hop in LA. And to all my family, all the first family of West Coast Underground street culture, thank you so much for making this culture so beautiful, so enjoyable, that it went around the world and people picked it up. I had dancers from Brazil tell me that they see me in videos from back in the day on VHS, and people know what VHS now still is, that they thank me for me getting down. I didn't even know I was on videos out there in Brazil, you know, and it spreads like that. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And so I thank all my brothers that are here today and that been getting down. And thank you, Ruckus and his wife, Sandra, for putting this incredible, monumental event together. The 50th year anniversary of pop locking. Yeah, let's give it up. Let's give it up.
Word. All right.
Thank you so
Tic Tac.
much.
Okay, so my name is David Smite. They call me the one-armed bandit. I say they say because that's the name I named myself, and I made people call me that instead of David Smite. So I grew up in Compton on Oak Street, and
Let's keep it down, everybody, for just a moment, please.
I grew up in Compton on Oak Street, and from that point on, Compton was so violent that my mom like moved us to Linwood. But I saw Poppin' in 1972 done in Compton, and it was by a couple of dudes. Boo was one of them. The gentleman standing over there with the LA hat on. I saw his crew getting down, and then I saw a video in 1973 of the Gong Show, and I saw the Mechanical Device and all those guys on there. But they wasn't popping. They was more like roboting and moving with a pop type of style. And their jerk is what I believe popping came from. I give much respect. This is coming out of the one-armed bandit's mouth. I give much respect to the Bay Area because without them, West Coast, we would have had a different style. And I like the style that came in from that style that they created out there in the West, in the Bay Area. So I moved from Compton. I was a kid. I moved from Compton to Linwood, and when I got into Linwood, the disco era had kicked in. And when the disco era kicked in, we're looking at 1974, 75. It was disco. And so from that movement alone, the songs were so fast that we had to shorten our moves down. So when we shortened our moves down, the pop came out. It started to come out. Instead of the 1, 2, and 1, 2, and grab your head and swallow it and spit it out or whatever, kick it like football, baseball, basketball. We played all that stuff. There's a lot of legends out there. When I say legends, I don't mean legends as in universal. I speak of legends as in your style is legendary. You're not a legend in my eyes. I'm not even a legend. The Most High is the legend that I see fit. So that's the way I see it. So when I say legend, I'm talking about their style. So I can sit here and name about at least 100 poppers that I've battled. Some of them, well, actually all of them here. I was one of the dancers from Compton and Linwood that was like, I'm gonna be the best popper that the world's ever seen. But then when I met, I can't even remember his name. It was a guy that said, how you gonna be the best if you don't know how to tap dance? How you gonna be the best if you don't know how to do jazz? How you gonna be the best if you don't know how to African dance? And so on, you know the rest of the story. So I said, okay, then I'll take every style that God has put in this world as dancing. Everything's freaking exotic. I did it all. I went into every category of dance: Buddha dance, Chinese dance, tap dancing, ballet. I wore the tutu, not the tutu, but I wore the tights just like them guys. I did. They was mine. I ain't afraid to say it because I became one of the greatest dancers in this country. Not the best. I'm not gonna say I'm the best because even though I was holding down this side of the town, somebody over there was holding down that side of the town. So in their eyes, he was the best. You follow me? So God gave me the gift to dance. That's what I do. I'm a dancer. I don't consider myself a popper. I pop. I just happen to be really, really, really good at popping. Really good. So I'll close out by saying that the history is there. We all know it. It's an art form. It's not just a dance. It needs to be respected by all cultures. If you're going to use this style of pop, just remember, from Compton to Linwood, I told you I had to leave Compton because it was gang related. And when I say gang related, I'm talking about like Chicago is now. People were dropping like flies from gangs, Mexican gangs, white gangs, and black gangs, killing all throughout the inner city, and I had to get out because I like gangs. I thought just to sit back and be like, what up, cool? Or what up, blood? Either said I was gonna claim. I thought that was cool. But I knew my dancing was different than that. And my cousin said, you dance, bro, don't affiliate with that, you dance. And so I'm here to tell you that my style goes all the way back to the Eve After Dark, where Lonzo first started the World Class Wrecking Crew, Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, and all of them. That's my lineage. That's where I learned to dance. And then I stepped up on Boppin Andre's side, hit the Workshop Disco, Carolina West, Name of the Game, Hobart. There's so many clubs I can name you guys. But the bottom line is the styles that came on the streets, once the Electric Boogaloos hit Linwood, they made us move differently. We went from standing still, bam, bam, like, you know, let's use Bruno. You see that style right there that Bruno does when he stand there and throw all the waves and chest and stuff, and you don't want to battle him? That's how we were popping back in the day. It was all technical. But when the Boogaloos came and we saw them in the zoo suits, we were like, wow. They were moving across the floor, and that blew me out the water. So I said, Peter, show me how to do that. Me and Peter's the same age. We both started popping. I mean, I started popping before him, but I just found out he just started popping in 1978. 1978, I was popping in 1972. But it was a fast robot, so it didn't claim as popping. The name Popping, One-Armed Bandit's opinion again. I'm a popper, but the style that I do is pop locking. I grew up in LA, that's what we called it, that's what it remains in my eyes. I've already talked to the greatest all over the world, and I have seen the baddest dancers in the world. The baddest. Why? Because I traveled looking for the best dancer in the world. I went through Hammer's dancers. I went through Bobby Brown's dancers. I went through Big Daddy Kane's dancers. Because remember, hip hop was in real hard when the popping was going, fading a little bit. So I jumped into the hip hop scene, and I used the hip hop and the popping to take these guys out. Bobby Brown's, some of Michael's. I wanted to be the best dancer the world's ever seen. Did I reach that goal? Nah. I didn't reach it because after seeing Savion Glover, I said, oh my God, bro, that means I gotta work like another 5 years just to get close to him. After seeing Boppin Andre, I was like, oh my God, like, I don't wanna be stiff like that. I'm a popper, I like to pop, but in order for me to be the best, don't I gotta be able to be good as Boppin Andre? I gotta be as good as this guy's group. That's who the best is, the one that could do everybody's style and dominate. That's the best. You gotta be able to jazz, ballet, African dance, flamenco, Latin dance, you name it. So if anybody comes in your face with any style, you'll be able to take them out. That was the one-on Bandit. That's what I did. But it didn't last that long. But anyway, I'm gonna pass the mic on. But
Give him some love, y'all.
I'm a dancer, I keep it true.
All right. What's happening, everybody? Bone Tyrone. And before I give you guys a little bit of my background, again, I just want to thank Miss Sandra and Ruckus Williams, you in your group, Zulu, Gremlin, and Asia One, for deciding to put on this panel. For me, it's an absolute complete honor, seeing as, believe it or not, I went to junior high school right down the street, Charles Drew Junior High. Before that, I went to Graham Elementary. I was right off of Firestone and Fur Avenue. So it's just an honor and privilege to be here today and to be able to just tell you guys a little bit about myself. First of all, I consider myself a Compton popper and a Pomona popper. And the way that happened is I basically learned the style at Dominguez High School, and that was 1978. And a couple of years later, I went to Pomona, and then I started perfecting my art from there. And back in the day, before I really knew what Boogaloo was, I used to try to tell people that my name was Boogaloo Teep, but that didn't catch on too well, but later on, my cousin, he seen me dance and he said, man, you look like you got no bones. And ever since then, I've been called No Bone Tyrone. And, I never was good enough, in my opinion, to be in a crew back in the day because I was still learning back in 1978, and there's no way I was gonna become, as good as everybody else by coming out until I really had something to show people. So until then, I considered myself a closet popper. And so once I got to Pomona in 1979, 80, I literally, met a lot of talented dancers there. And then around 1982, 83, we formed a crew called the Pomona City Heartbreakers. It was Killer Rob and the Pomona City Heartbreakers. And so from there, we did a whole lot of shows and a whole lot of contests. Had a lot of fun, but there's been so many poppers to speak on that, that really inspired me to be here. And one thing that I'm totally thankful for is two of the poppers happen to be here, and that would be Boppin Andre and Lady Tangerine, because that's who I seen that's how far back I go. I can't tell you, I seen Dre. It was Lady Tangerine and Boppin Andre. And then it was Dan Martin, Boo Dan Martin, and the Robot Prince, the Unique Dominoes. So those are the crews that I would see when I would travel in my journeys in between Compton, Pomona, and then LA. So I had, so many different sources that I was able to learn from in just LA. And then when you got to Compton, you can't forget about Anthony A.K. King and Electronic Puppets. And specifically, we're talking about, Boogaloo Tut, Gregory Haynes, and I'm talking about specifically. I'm talking about Master of the Boogaloo, Gregory Brown. So so there was other members of the electronic puppets, but those three guys, they inspired me the most. So I could keep going on. I could do this all day. I know we're working on a time limit, and I can get long-winded, and I'm sure y'all don't want it to be one of those type of days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to once again just thank you guys for allowing me to just give you a part of my history, and I'm going to what's that? Oh yeah. And for those of you who don't know, we have a documentary. It's called Master of Waves Legacy: The History of Poplock Begins. And we got some real talented cats in that documentary. We got Alonzo Williams, we got Anthony A.K. King, we got Earl Ingram, he's around here somewhere. We got Tank. We got my man, one-armed Bandit here, and then we got me. Am I missing anybody? That's everybody. So if I miss any, well, I can't miss nobody. But that's pretty much it's on YouTube now. So if you guys want to check it out, go ahead and peep it out. And then we also have other projects coming up as well. So we'll keep you posted. But until then, I'm gonna slide the mic.
Bone Tyrone, give him some love, y'all.
Alright. My name is Fred. I'm with the Long Beach Time Bandits. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be brief with a quick history lesson. The Bandits are originally, give it up. Gotta make sure everybody knows. People don't seem to know where it comes from. Let them know, let them see it. Let them see it big on stereo.
There you go.
Right? For those of you who don't know who the Mysterious Poppers are, that's the original group that Taco came from. Right? Give it up for Taco. Right? That's my big brother. I lived right off the alley where they practiced at, the Mysterious Poppers, back in 1978. I was inspired by Poppin, like mid-70s, by Mark Benson, who was on the Gong Show, he was the original King Tut. He was dating my sister. So I got a little bit, but I didn't get enough. So, come 78, me and my best friend D, Snake, some of y'all know him, Snake from Long Beach Time Bandits. Yeah, went over to the garage over there and asked could we do Mysterious Poppers Juniors. They thought it was hilarious, they laughed. But they told us to come back tomorrow, so we came back, we had like 2 moves apiece. Just like you said, closet poppers, right? We was both closet poppers. We kept trying to get, the homie tried to get us to go against each other, but we wouldn't. We would say we would, but when we got out there, we couldn't do it. But that day we did. We became the Mysterious Popper Juniors. Bruno was one of my teachers. Bruno, Daryl Johnson, Kid Cuffy, and George Brown. King Rattler, King Snake, rest in peace King Rattler, rest in peace King Snake, that's Bruno. King Cobra, and King Python. I'm Junior King Cobra, right? So you have the Mysterious Poppers. We rock like that for a minute. OGs, all the probably LA Boppers, OGs all know Mysterious Poppers. Then we turned into Long Beach Time Bandits. We got 4 generations of the Bandits. 4 generations. Right now, we're presently in the process of putting together a documentary. Some of the cast here is probably already in the documentary. They've been doing it for about 5 or 6 years now. They've been putting it together. It's going to be a nice one about the Bandits. Also, I wanted to give thanks to everybody that came out today. I love to see the black and brown thing, the no color lines thing. You know, everybody's so peaceful. Everybody come out to have a great time. Nobody's out here fooling around doing no crazy stuff. You know, everybody from different cities is a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. But I don't want to take up too much time. I'm going to give it up to my boy, Fernando. This is my brother, by the way. Long Beach Time Bandit. Fernando.
Hey, real quick. Also, can't forget Cool Boy is in the documentary too. Y'all was just thinking about that. I said, man, if he's looking like at this and I leave him out, I can't do that. But thank you. And also, real quick, Zulu, I just want to mention, you know, how you can't leave out the inspiration that the Electric Boogaloo's left on us too. Like, we may not have learned from them each individually, but just, you know, seeing them on the Gong Show, I don't know any kid that watched that show, watched Poppin' Pete and Boogaloo Sam and the rest of them throw down and wasn't just rooting for them, because they was from where we were, the hood. You know what I'm saying? So there's, like I said, there's so many different crews to mention, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I went over my time already, but thank you, man.
Please make some noise, give them some love for all of our panelists. Now it's time to see him get down.
Wait a minute, one more thing.
Oh yeah, he's gonna.
Fernando. Go ahead.
Yeah, Fernando's gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna
speak
make it
quickly.
short, because I talked this morning already. Bruno was one of the hardest poppers I've ever seen in my life. He's unbeatable. Every time I went to Uncle Jam's and whatever, people were scared to call him out because of his hitting. Can you believe that? Just, you know, he hit, that scared you right there. And then he never lost a battle. I'm sorry to say that, but he never lost a battle with me. He just, you know, he's awesome and stuff. You know, rest in peace, and yeah, that's about it. You know, I hate that he's gone, but you know, he's still living in our memory still. That's it. Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. Thank you to all the panelists. Did you want to?
Yeah,
say something real quick?
Real quick, people, as you see on the flyer, it said that Bandit has a speech, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shorten my time and I'm gonna give you guys this speech, all right? This goes to all the poppers all over the world. We have to give respect to the Bay Area. They started it, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. How do I know? Because I went and did my history for myself to find out if this is true, okay? Poppin's over here from the West Coast, and they started the movement of this poppin' that became a West Coast pop. So that's one thing. The next thing, I want to thank all the dancers, the new school, for putting it down like you guys are doing and grabbing on and just making your name. Putting your name out there and making your name. What I want to say about that also, that comes with a negative side. The negative side is that now that you've learned to dance, it's your duty and honor to go to the old school and say hello. We shouldn't have to come to you and say, hey, what's your name? No, you go to the old school, meaning the guys that you call OGs, such as myself and the guys on this panel, and walk up and ask them a question. Don't be afraid, because that way you'll have the history of where the style comes from. Nobody can tell you nothing. You won't have to argue about history. You would know it. And when the people say, well, how do you know? Because I talked to the one-armed bandit myself. That's number two. Number three, you gotta respect the OGs, because some of these OGs out here will turn you out. I know a lot of you guys have heard, I'm gonna go ahead and say it on camera, I know a lot of you guys have heard a couple of people, a person say, hey, I want to battle an OG. I want to battle an OG. Okay, I heard that, I got wind of it, I went and looked, and I didn't see the video, but the people that told me about it was real. I am an OG. I'm the one-armed bandit. I don't turn down battles from nobody. Don't ever forget that. Wife, hold on. Don't ever forget that. But here's the case. Here's the case. I don't want to battle you. I have nothing to prove to you. I've been around the world 3 times and back. I've been in Michael Jackson's closet. Not like that, but like this. Where I took pictures. I took pictures. And this is not a diss to Michael. This is not a diss to Michael, but I know how the world foolishly thinks that he was something when he really wasn't. We grew up with Michael Jackson. We know what he wasn't, okay? Michael wasn't what he wasn't, what they say what he is. Let's get to the point. So I have pictures in his closet where I'm like showing his clothes, like, and people are like, dude, there's no way you got in Michael Jackson's closet. I went into the music awards, ladies and gentlemen, without a ticket. That's how obsessed I am about the music industry and the dance industry and about this popping. I heard that some dancers was gonna come on stage, which was the Electric Boogaloos, and I got dressed that afternoon, jumped in my car, and I drove down to the Shrine Auditorium down here, and I hung out. And when I hung out, I told my cousin Vicky, let's go to the back. We went to the back. This is a true story. We went to the back, and these two couples was walking out with their American Music Awards badge. And I said, excuse me, sir, you gonna keep that badge? And he said, no, you can have it. I put the badge on, and I walked through the whole entire after party and hung out with every single star on the map. And my cousin was just looking at me. I said, dude, we was on the living room couch 5 minutes ago. Now we're here at the Music Awards chilling with the stars. I'm talking about everybody. Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Oprah Winfrey, they was all there. And I'm chilling. Hey, Oprah, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So, get back to what I was talking about. The styles. Let's clear this up. This is a style. This is me wearing a hat. This is a style. This is me wearing a hat. This is a style. This is a style. And the reason why Boppin Andre's smiling because, yeah, Boppin Andre taught me that. That's right. He taught me that. I know what styles are to dance, but to specify and to get all creative about it, bro, look. This is an arm wave. That is it. Unless you got 3 arms, there's nothing you can do to impress me with the arm wave. It's an arm wave. It flows like water. You can take it through your body, around your body, up in the air, down on the floor. It's just an arm wave to me. And when I see that, I'm able to defeat the style because it's an arm wave. That's number 1. Respect the styles, people. Moves of your own. Leave the OG's moves alone, people. God, can we walk away and die with some dignity that I created? A move called the tut drop where I do a wave and it goes through my arm, I put my arm and I fall to the floor and make the house go, ooh. That's my move. I create that. The Most High gave me that move. Or when I'm popping and I drop down to my knees and I slide across the floor sideways, backways, not like Wiggles, my own back wave. Sideways, backways, up, forward, and across the floor, across the grass in gymnasiums. I'm the creator of that. You're looking at the guy. I told you I'm 60 years old. The lowrider. The lowrider. I created moves to take out people's stuff. I don't care how good you pop. If I throw the lowrider on you, it's gonna be a problem. Everybody knows that. Everybody that stand out here would tell you. That move saved my life.
I think it's time to see it.
You see?
Let's get on the floor.
Saved my life.
Show yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of great poppers out there, but I'm gonna tell you guys about 4 of them. I'm not gonna tell you about them. I'm just gonna mention their names. There's nobody here, but one of them from Compton is Robot Durrell. If you guys have never seen Robot Durrell and Kendall get down, let me tell you how good Robot Durrell is. Robot Durrell is 59 years old, and Robot Durrell's on tour right now, and he's making thousands. He don't make small popping money. His 3 tours that he invited me on was 50,000. Maybe I should. It was 50. Listen to me. This is serious. It was 50,000 cash 1 month. And they don't take no taxes out. And it was dancing for the United States troops in Afghanistan. Unfortunately, I had a son. I'm not leaving my son to go to Afghanistan. Sorry, it's too hot for me. Robot Durrell, that's number 1. Dude is hard. When you see me pop, you see Robot Durrell. We're kind of similar alike. Number 2 is a student that I taught by the name of Turbulence. Turbulence, listen to me carefully. Turbulence came out and he was a product of the dance. Like, he was obsessed with the dance. He didn't care who you was. He gonna be just like me and he gonna call you. He called out Bruno, Hugo, Jazzy, Renee, the whole entire crew. And then Hugo came out first. And then when Bruno came out, I stepped out and Bruno looked at me and he said, this is the way it's gonna go. I said, well, I can't stop my student from doing what he's doing. And that's when I realized you don't battle OGs, but I couldn't stop him. It don't matter what I said to him. He wanted to battle an OG, and that's what he did. They never came out. It was a squashed information, and they left it at that. That's the next one. The next one is of a guy by the name, another student of mine, by the name of Black Rain. You can look him up, Picasso. Black Rain, Picasso. Okay, I taught him how to bust. and he came to the B-Boy Summit, Asia's event, and he ran up against Cool Boy. So him and Cool Boy going at it. He was out playing around, Cool Boy called him out, and they started going at a battle. Immediately in my mind, I knew my student has thousands of moves, Cool Boy has a lot of moves, and I knew eventually it's going to be a nasty situation, so I kind of stepped in between and broke them up, like I do with everybody that pop here. If you're going against two OGs going together, you'll see me step up and say, hey, we don't do that, okay? And last but not least, to close the show, pop locking or popping 3D'ing, 5D'ing, 7D'ing, because I've seen it done by a guy named Roland from Demons of the Mind. But Demons said that he was never in their group, but he claimed that he was. But all of these different styles came from the greats. A lot of them you never get to hear from, you never see them because they never had a chance to get on a video. And they were amazing. So if you look at yourself in the mirror and you think you're amazing, just remember there was people that came before you that paved the way for you to do what you're doing, and they were freaking amazing. You understand? It's not to take nothing from the new school. Show homage to the old school. We have the history. We have the knowledge. You need that. You could be the greatest pop in the world. If you don't have the history of where that come from, you're worthless to me. History will teach you and give the credit to where the credit is due. I pay homage to all those people. Sammy Davis Jr., Michael Jackson, Nicholas Brothers, and so on. All right, so I wanted to close it with that. Popping is an art, it's not just a dance. Thank you, Boo.
Do you have a question real quick?
I just want to put his name out there, rest in peace. It had a lot to do with the 80s version. And he was, to me, if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm wrong, but he was the one that started the hard double hit. And I got to pay homage to he was inspired by the boppers. I don't know if he was a bopper, but rest in peace. Double hit, one of the hardest hitters in this game, and I have to give it up. The Venice game, the street performance game. Let's give it up for Mr. Animation as well. I have to give it up to Mr. Animation. Vincent Foster, I love you like a motherfucker. I miss you. I miss Bruno Falcon, Poppin' Taco, and I love each and every one of you guys. I can go on and on, but I just wanted to pay homage to Mr. Animation.
Appreciate it. All right, y'all.
All right, y'all, that's a little history lesson. Ruckus, go ahead.
Yes. So thank you guys for being on this panel. Now we're going to have a little demonstration from the panelists, so if we can have everybody move back off the dance floor.